Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob, and you're here for the state of the channel. How's it going? Here we go.
While
We
you're
are live. I just checked YouTube, and of course, an ad popped up, but we are live. Let's see here. Yep, looks good. We are ready to go. If you're watching right now, let me know if you can hear me. I feel like I've been saying that a lot in the last 2 months, but I just had a couple of new things purchased for the channel, like the mic. I've updated the Stream Deck, which is what I've been using to manage all my audio. And a friend of mine today, a good friend of mine, Dave, who really could thank him for everything. He's been sort of like from the beginning. He's been behind the scenes guy. He's been a friend of mine since childhood, since we were in like preschool, kindergarten. Um, he's been in town, and he's behind everything tech. He took a look at the computer, checked out some things. He knew I was having a hard time with the mic, this new mic, getting voice mod to work on it. So he helped me figure it out, and I think we're good. So you want to hear if voice mod works? Let's see. We did test this today, and it did work. Let's see if it actually worked. We should be hearing Yune's voice soon. 3, 2, 1.
Testing, everyone. Is this Yune? Can you let me know if this is Yune?
Look at that. See? It's all working now, I think. We'll see. We'll see what the chat says. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first state of the channel you've watched, well, you're in for a treat, I think. I try to do a couple of live streams a year, and I say live streams, I mean chatting with everybody. I used to do live streams to chat about the games early on in the channel's history, but I kind of got away from that. It's kind of hard with the way that I prep and prepare, and the times that I do that all, to really just have set a time to live stream about the prep of a game. But I've done that a few times. I've mostly now do a chatting live stream at the beginning of the year, like now, January, to talk about what's coming up in the next year. I usually do one in the middle of the year. It's kind of like a mid-year update, a summer update. I try to do a live stream when we have our barbecue, when we get all the players together. We try to do something live that moment. And then I think I'm going to make the post-Thanksgiving chat another one. So there'll be like 4 opportunities throughout the year to chat with everybody. Let me know if if you caught the last streams, if you enjoy these, because I comment down below if you're watching it afterwards too. I know it's fun to watch it live, but it's also maybe impossible sometimes. There's an NFC championship game going on, or not championship game, a big game in the NFC today. Let's see. One of our longtime channel followers and patron members, James from Kansas City, was saying, of course, I have to do the stream when the Vikings are playing the Lions. He's a big Vikings fan. Oh, the Vikings are down 7-0 Lions. So Lions are winning, Vikings are down, but it's early. It's only the second quarter, start of the second quarter. So if you're watching this, I assume sports don't matter to you. Let's see. All right. So a couple things. These states of the channel, basically the way that they're the purpose of it is, like I said before, to give you all a little bit of an insight as to what I'm thinking and what's going to be coming for the year of 2025. Of course, it's tricky because I hate to say something in these state of the channels or in any live stream, and then, we have to wait like many, many months. So we'll talk about some other things as well, but I don't have as many big announcements for this live stream. I definitely in the past have sometimes had like massive announcements, like 3, 4 different shows that have been like announced and coming soon. In this case, it's going to be a little different. We don't have that right now because the way that the schedule has just been is we're kind of like we're in it with 2 big campaigns. But we'll talk about them in a second. More to come. Just want to wish everybody a happy new year. And I think we're getting people in here. We're getting more viewers now at this point. So I try to wait a little bit, just get some people in here. But we'll probably just get started in a second. A couple of standard updates. Chris from Long Island, you said, how's the leg doing? ACL recovery is coming good. I still go to physical therapy 2 times a week, and I've been doing exercise at home. It's a long road, back to doing athletics, but I feel good about the work I've done. Definitely been trying to do as best I could to get back out there. Walking, totally fine, no issues. In fact, I've been working out more really than I've worked out in the last, like, I don't know, honestly, 10 years. It's been consistently doing like leg day type workouts every week. So it's good. Very, very good. Walking's no problem. I've been running, jumping, hopping, still not playing sports, but like individually doing all those good things. So in due time, should be back to normal. Today was a very busy day. I actually saw a movie. Saw Nosferatu. I don't know if anybody else saw Nosferatu, but it's that new Robert Eggers movie. I actually knew very little about Nosferatu. I know it's a silent film from way back when, 100 years ago, but I didn't really understand like exactly what it is. I definitely went into it knowing just what I know about vampires in general, and it was extremely, I thought, similar to Dracula. Now, I did Google afterwards because I know the story of Dracula. I know Bram Stoker's Dracula, book and movie, but movies, and many movies have been made about it. But this followed a lot of the beats from the book, and I was like, wait, this is just Dracula. But then I looked it up, and apparently Nosferatu was basically a way to get around the copyright of Dracula. So I don't know how accurate that search was. It was a quick search, but basically it was the story of Dracula with some just small twists and some characters having duplicate roles, but for the most part it was Dracula. So I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely a different tone and take, but I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't a masterpiece by any means, but I thought it was fun for what it was. And James from KC, you're here in the chat. Welcome, James. Are there even movie theaters anymore? There are. Surprisingly, there actually are a lot of movie theaters. I for one love movies and love going to see movies in the theater. I know it's like a dying thing, but the movie theaters are, I think, the best way to watch a movie, if you ask me. Chris hears Strahd is considering suing. He should. Although he might not have much to go on because I think Strahd was created far too late in the vampire game. But Strahd's a completely different take. Great story there. Okay, that's a good segue. Let's jump into some of the things we've done this year. I have it written down here so I wouldn't forget. I went through, and I like to recap the year before in 2024. So 2024, we had quite a lot of games, actually. It was full of games, live streams, including our Curse of Strahd live play, which started in 2024. It was exciting. We had it didn't start in 2024. Started in 2023, but like at the end of 2023. So we had episodes 6 through 25 of season 1, and we even had 3 season 2 episodes. So we had a bulk of Curse of Strahd premiere in 2024. Of course, we had some Shadowdark on the channel, especially in the early parts of the year. We had the honor of hosting Kelsey Dion, the creator of Shadowdark, for our Valentine's Day one-shot, which was Sweetheart Sanctuary. That was my own invention of an adventure. And then we followed that up the next month with a St. Patrick's Day adventure, the Leprechaun Hollow. So those are 2 Shadowdark. We started the year hot with Shadowdark. And unfortunately, that was all we did Shadowdark this year. Looking to change that going forward. And then in the springtime, we had one of my favorite streams I think we've ever done, and that is Viral, the modern Call of Cthulhu scenario. I mean, if you haven't seen, in the chat right now, let me know if you've seen Viral and tell us your thoughts of it, because I had the most fun playing that game this year. It was just such another experience. Like it was like so different than playing in the 1920s Cthulhu, and then on top of it too, like just the fact that it was this unique idea, this sort of meta moment where like you have people who are creating a YouTube channel and we're on YouTube streaming it. It was so much fun. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on Viral. More to come on Call of Cthulhu for this year. But I mean, I've said this before. I think it's possible Call of Cthulhu might be my favorite RPG. I just think it is. It's such a unique experience to run it. So much different. It scratches a different itch than D&D and the other fantasy RPGs. All right, so that was the springtime. We played Call of Cthulhu Viral. That ran for 9 episodes. That was a pretty long one. And we even did, I think, a follow-up to that. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we just did it at the end of it. But we had 9 episodes for sure. And that was a lot of fun. And then in the summer, once the summer hit, we started off the summer with Kraken Week. It was the first time they were doing Kraken Week. They might have done it last year, but it was very select few people. This is the first time it was maybe open. And that was run by Ginny D. And she did a wide search for YouTubers to do some sort of nautical themed D&D content. We, of course, we ran Salvage Operation, which I don't think many people remember this, but it does tie into VNA Eve of Ruin, especially the ending. So if you haven't watched that, go check that back. If you're like, I'm watching Vecna, this does have a tie-in. You might want to check it out. The summer also saw the return of the Keep on the Borderlands crew, the Char Coalition. They ran In Search of the Unknown. And that was a lot of fun because In Search of the Unknown is, of course, a very, short, smaller adventure compared to the Keep on the Borderlands. In fact, I think it's technically before it in the order. Not that order really mattered back then or even now. But it really is its own. We made it its own thing. And that, of course, tied right into VNA Eve of Ruin, which started in the fall. So we're in the fall now. VNA Eve of Ruin began. We've done 3 chapters so far. Each chapter has run 4 sessions exactly. So chapter 1, the intro, was 4 sessions, and now each leg of the journey is going to be its own chapter. And there are some spoilers here, so I'm going to give some spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, this is pretty difficult because I think when you're watching these state of the channels, you probably are watching knowing that you've seen most of the things and you're looking to see what's coming up. But I do want to talk a little bit about Vecna for a second. This is probably the most difficult thing to coordinate. It's just the nature of it. We've had 3 chapters so far, and there are obviously each group is now looking for a different piece of the Rod of 7 Parts. So every chapter is going to be unique, different groups going out, different players, and I'm not going to tell you the results of all the chapters, but so far it's been very well received. Everybody who's seen it has told me it's awesome. The comments on it are very supportive. But it is hard, I think, for you to watch it if you haven't. I mean, it's not. You don't need to have watched all the other Tabletop Bob campaigns and adventures to understand it. But it is an opportunity for you to maybe look and see if you like some of the characters. You're like, oh, I really love how that person played that character, to go back and check out the older campaigns. We are leaving a link down in every guide, player guide. There's a link down to the player guide, and it has a little bit of a background that's less spoilery. It has a little breakdown of like where you can find them, even links to go to videos where they highlighted their characters. I do think those links are more for the people who've seen it already to kind of go back and maybe rewatch and the nostalgia of watching something that they were familiar with. I don't expect people who have never seen Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden to click on Edmund's, link to, episode 12. That's not going to bring anybody to new to that. But for the people who have seen it to go back and revisit and remember a moment, that's what those are for. And then, of course, if you are new and you haven't seen all the campaigns, you don't have to go back. I think Vecna is the way that we've structured it is that you don't need to go back to rewatch everything. You can get the context with just watching the Vecna stream. But if you do know a little bit more, it does add a little bit. So, if you feel like you want to catch up, if you want to go back and watch some episodes, that's why we link all the characters so you can see them. Let's see what the chat's saying here. Let's see. Yes, Nosferatu was great. A lot of people have been saying good things. It was pretty cool. Cam W says Viral was great. Best of the year, David H. Yeah, Viral. I mean, Viral was so unique. That's why I think it really resonated with people. That had one of the most lively live chats because it was interactive, and it was a lot of fun for us to run. Even Joey, Dasha, John, Estelle, they all agreed. So much fun. Wayne says, how long ago was Frostmaiden? Frostmaiden was the first full campaign on the channel. So we started in 2020, and it took 13 months. We played every week with that one, and it went 57 episodes. So 2021 December? Yeah, December 2021, I think. Yeah, I think we started in like October of 2020, and it ended like the Lunar New Year. That's what it was, the Lunar New Year 2021. And we said that was no, I said Lunar New Year. The solstice, the winter solstice. That's what it was. We said that must have been fate. So yeah, Wayne, you've been here a long time. You've been a long time member of the channel. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, and you'll notice people in the chat, if you've got a star next to your name, that means you're a member. Wayne's been a member for a little bit of time. You even see the different colors here. They all represent how long you've been a member. But memberships are pretty cool. It's a way to like support here directly on YouTube. If you want to support the channel in another direct way, you can go to Patreon. That's a good one because Patreon just guarantees that the creator gets something each month, and it's been very helpful because if I need to purchase a module or a book or something for the channel, I don't really have to worry about that and hesitate. Not really trying to like make this a job, but like it does make it so that I can get whatever I need. So if you want to check out links to that, you can. They're in the description. Patreon, Ko-fi is a donation site, and then the of course the YouTube memberships. All helps, but please don't feel obligated. I don't want to pressure anybody into that. You can also follow everything we do on social media. Links to Discord, especially Discord, is where I post most. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is in the description too. So check those out. Chris from Long Island says, I thought the star meant we were stars. You are a star, Chris. You are, certainly. And Wayne says, I remember when you started Patreon, I joined right away, and I was still too late to get into the paid-to-play level. Yeah, I know. I apologize. The paid-to-play level is the hardest one because I just kind of we've had mostly the same group for the entire time that it's been up. And any time that I've had an opening, which I think twice it's happened, it's filled up right away. It's fun to do that, but I definitely it does fill up quickly. Though I will take suggestions for things for the Patreon because I feel like every so often I'd love to like maybe even try to do a one shot where I can get people on the Patreon to play like like a rotation or a raffle or something like that. The only thing is I want to make it so that it's time wise, and it's very hard to figure out schedules, and it can be hard to do that. But I will think about more playing with some of the Patreon members in the future. So that gets us to the fall. So get an overview of the year. Vecna is going into chapter 4 coming up. And Chris says he wants to know who's in chapter 4. Well, I don't want to spoil it just yet. I don't want to spoil it. But, maybe I'll give a little preview here. Well, wait a second. Let's get through the rest of the year wrap up here. So VNA Eve of Ruin is going strong. We're 3 chapters down. We started chapter 4 January 8th. That's coming up this Wednesday. Now, Strahd also started back up in the fall in October. We tried to, coordinate it so that spooky season was, coming up around the Halloween holiday. And we did. We started it the week of Halloween, but it ended up being kind of hard because I added another sort of last minute project, and that's Eldritch Castle. Now, if you haven't seen Eldritch Castle, you really should. It's not that long. We've only done 4 episodes so far. And I don't think it's going to be very long. It's going to be 6, I think. So only 2 more left. But we started that. That's the Esper the Bard Kickstarter that came out in right about Thanksgiving time. We did it to coordinate and coincide with it, so we kind of promoted. Esper, of course, friend of the channel, and it's been so much fun. It's such an interactive game, especially for the players. They get to see all these visuals and puzzles and traps, and it's been so cool for them to play. They have a lot of high praise for it, and I have a lot of high praise for it on the DM side as well. It's really, really great. You should check out Esper's channel too. But check out Eldritch Castle. All the links are in those streams. That's been a lot of fun, but that also meant that Chris Estrad had to go at a staggered start. We did two every other week, so every 2 weeks we did a game. But then, naturally, there's things that happen when we do live D&D. As many of you know, some things come up. People have other priorities. Real life gets in the way. Jobs, holidays. So Thanksgiving, for instance, kind of messed us up because then we had a big break there in the week, and so sometimes it'd be 3 weeks. We had an issue with audio that one time, which was really, really unfortunate, and that pushed everything back another 2 weeks. So it ends up being really tricky when we're coordinating so many games at once. And we'll talk more about the schedule in 2024, but that's something I want to avoid in the future. I hate the idea of the alternating weeks, and we've talked about this before. Actually, I've said this on live streams before. About 2 years ago, I think it was two years ago, I decided we would no longer do the every other week thing. It messes with schedules. It's not good for continuity, especially doing it live. I mean, if we were recording these all and we were just chopping them up and doing a big recording day and we did that once a month, I mean, whatever, it is what it is because we're just recording and putting out. But that's the fun about live play D&D, right? Live D&D is live. It's not scripted. We're just people playing games, and that's the fun part. So if we try to coordinate and schedule, there inevitably will be days that miss, and that's tough on a bi-weekly schedule. Wayne, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Do you think you'll do more videos where you break down the adventure after it's done and then talk about the changes you made and why you made it that way? I like those because it shows your skill. Yeah, so I think there's two ideas that I'm thinking you might be referring to. So I've done what I actually started this stream talking about, where I used to do live streams where I would show my prep for like the finale. And in those games, I talked a little bit about like how I've changed the games and what I do to plan for them. But I think you might be getting at is the after the final roll videos. Those are the ones where the group comes together and talks. Is that what you're referring? Let me know. This sounds more like where I break down the adventure by myself. Have I done that? I've done that? Maybe. I mean, I've definitely those guide series, like the Avernus guide series that I will finish very, very soon. It's coming, everybody. That it takes a lot of time, and that's a recorded video, and that's like more of a guide than just like what I did. So maybe that's not what you're referring to here. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to definitely do a after the final roll regarding VNA Eve of Ruin when it's done for sure. Strahd, no doubt. Any of the bigger campaigns where it requires that. James from KC says Esper's doing a West Marches style campaign right now. I'm running a region. Come check it out. It's free. Yes, and I actually played in one of those test games over the break. It was really cool. Esper's doing this on his Discord. And James, I didn't know you were running a region. What region are you? Let me know. And Wayne, both of those are valid, but I like it when you show your skill as storyteller, explaining a change you made when you did it. Yeah, I think it's worth doing it. I think it's worth going back and explaining the changes. I do plan on doing a guide to Keep on the Borderlands. That definitely will have a lot of my changes that I made to that. Even though that game's been over for a while now, I have a lot to say about it. And like I said, I think in the Thanksgiving chat, now with Wizards of the Coast accepting Living Greyhawk as its thing, and I think Keep on the Borderlands, they have something in the work for that. This might be perfect timing, so excited to see what's coming out. I'll definitely consider that, though. Definitely consider that. And then, Eldritch Castle is the last thing we did this year. We have 4 episodes up on the channel right now, and we're going to be finishing that within the next month. So more to come on that. All right. So let's see. What do we talk about now? Okay. So I guess we can jump into the future here. The projects of the future. Now, I know Chris from Long Island has mentioned this before, and he's probably in the chat right now. Oh, yep, there it is. Here's the question. So Chris from Long Island says, so Bob, what will be the Char Coalition campaign in 2025? Which campaign? And I hate to say this, but I don't think I can announce it just yet. And for a few reasons. Number one, the schedule coming up. This is a good segue, though. We are going to be continuing with VNA Eve of Ruin right away. It's This Wednesday, the 8th, we're starting right again, and it's chapter 4. Each chapter has, I mean, it really does feel like they're a good 8 hours each chapter. And that's kind of like what we do, right? Each game we play is 2 hours, and it seemed to all finish nicely within the 8 hour time frame, 8 to 10 hours, I'd say. So we are going to hopefully have there's, I guess, how many chapters left in that? We're chapter 4, 8, 9, 10 chapters. So that's going to take us through to the summer, right? Like from here till June, July, right? Straight up. That's the next 6-7 months. VNA Eve of Ruin on Wednesdays. There might be 1 or 2 Wednesdays that we have to break or pause. Like I have spring break coming up. Some of the players may not be able to play that week, those weeks or whatever, or whatever it would be. Schedules are schedules. But generally speaking, from January to July 2025, VNA Eve of Ruin is on Wednesdays. And that's just going to keep going. Then Curse of Strahd. The Curse of Strahd is coming back. We're playing on the 7th, which is in 2 days. That'll be the return for 2025 of the Grayscale gang. But Eldritch Castle is still up. So 7th will be Strahd. The 14th will be Eldritch Castle. The 21st will be Curse of Strahd. The 28th will be Eldritch Castle. And that'll be the finale of Eldritch Castle. Without a doubt. I knowing where they are, knowing what they have left, I doubt they'll finish it in 1 session. 2 should be enough. And that would be the finale of Eldritch Castle. And then January is done. So then in February, that'll be February 4th. Yeah, February 4th is Curse of Strahd stream. So there you go. February 4th on will be Curse of Strahd on Tuesdays. And I want to get, at the very minimum, 20 episodes for season 2. We did 25 for season 1, but the nature of our starting and stopping in the fall kind of might prevent that. By about May is when I kind of want to end the season. I also have an idea of where I want them to be when they end the season. I also think it's going to be 3 seasons. So Strahd's going to be 3 seasons most likely. I just have a feeling that's the way it's going to go. Now, I could be totally wrong. In May, we could be talking about a potential finale. Maybe we go to June to finish it because it feels more natural that way. But I don't know yet. And I'll be honest with you, that's good, right? Like, I shouldn't know exactly when it's going to end because then it would be really difficult. That would be like, for the players, they'd be thinking, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. But I'm leaving it open to the players to decide how they want to navigate this and how they want to present this to me almost. Like they told me where they want to go next, but that doesn't even mean that that's going to be where they go. And I told them, I don't want them to feel like we're playing this to play out a season or to finish a game in a certain amount of time. I want it to feel totally natural. So that's how it's going to be. They're going to go and do their thing, but at the very minimum, we're going to have 20 episodes, which will take us through to May. If we end up playing through May and maybe into June, maybe it'll be 25 episodes, but that just depends on what exactly they're doing. So we'll see. More to come on that. And so because of that leaves me with very limited time to weave other things in. I run the Patreon game that we spoke about earlier on Thursdays, every other Thursday. So because of that, the time that I have to fit in other games is very limited. You all know that I run a gaming club in real life. It's at Monday nights. So Mondays are gaming. Tuesdays are Curse of Strahd. Wednesdays are Vecna. And then every other Thursday is Patreon. So the only time that I could maybe squeeze something in is on a night where Vecna or Strahd won't work, and I could find players, and it's possible to fit something in. Yes, there maybe would be a case where a Thursday could come into play. I mean, if I have to, I could skip a Monday, things like that. But I typically like to keep my gaming time in there, reserve some time for family. That would be good. My wife would love to see me during the week. That'd be a good thing. So, I try to avoid the other Thursday, and I try to avoid taking Mondays away, but we'll see. I do have a couple of other ideas that I really want to get off the ground. I just don't know when they're going to be. And I think if I had to, it would end up being a recording. So I know everybody loves the live play and loves being like here and being able to talk with the players, talk with me. But I think if we're going to have a smaller project, like a one shot, something that I can do in between, it's going to have to be filmed on a weekend or something and then premiered on like a Thursday or something like that. Um, filmed at like a weird time, maybe like the morning. I don't want to risk live streaming outside of our normal time. Anytime I've ever live streamed outside of like the 8 o'clock 9 hour, it ends up not being good. Like people don't get a chance to watch, and then when that doesn't happen, YouTube doesn't promote the video as much. That unfortunately happened a lot with our Supernatural 20 videos. I think that was the case. We did a lot of like afternoon and even early morning recordings because sometimes the live streams wouldn't do well. So we'll have to see. We'll play that by ear. And I am like a politician, not answering the questions. Chris from Long Island, Wayne, James, everybody here wants to know what the Char Coalition is doing. But I will say, I'll answer the question you have here. Yes, 100% they will be returning. 100% it will be an old school campaign, a classic one that if you play D&D, you know it, you've heard of it. I already have it figured out in my mind. There actually are already seeds that have been sown in Search of the Unknown for it. So, yeah. And, Nate's in the chat here. Nate, look at this. Look at this. I'm wearing the shirt, Nate. Intend your puns, you cowards. Nate got me the shirt. Yeah, it's a good one. Thank you, Nate. The Char Coalition is standing by. But they're also not standing by because they're in VNA Eve of Ruin. So it's hard to say they'll be returning because if they die, then that's it. Then they won't be returning. I mean, let's say somebody were to have died in VNA Eve of Ruin. Let's just say. I would not kick them out of the Keep on the Borderlands crew. They would make a new character. Right? So, we'll see. Nate may or may not be participating soon. Chris Among Us says, how much XP did Jeff and Tim pick up in Vecna? Yeah, so a little bit of spoiler here for Vecna Eve of Ruin. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, turn off now. This is chapter 2, though. Jeff and Tim were in Vecna Eve of Ruin. I don't think that I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about the experience points because we leveled everybody up to 8 after In Search of the Unknown. And although they did quite a bit in Vecna Eve of Ruin, I don't necessarily want to just like inflate their levels for when they do come back and play a new game. So I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, though, we did level mid In Search of the Unknown. And then at the end, maybe. I don't remember. Nate's here. Maybe Nate can fill in that gap here. I forget. But we did level up at least once, I think, during In Search of the Unknown, and we did it like milestone level instead of experience points like we did in the actual Keep on the Borderlands campaign. But when we get back to a traditional old school campaign that is not tied into Vecna Eve of Ruin, we will definitely go back to doing experience points in some manner. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. I definitely can't. I can't say much more about the Keep on the Borderlands right now because, like I said, we're in limbo. The Keep on the Borderlands crew has been split across the multiverse. Who knows where they're going to be? Where they'll be at the end of this. So, Nate says, I think we're all level 8 currently. Yes, everybody's level 8 currently, which actually makes sense then because you were all level. I think Nate and Chris were level 6 at the end of Keep on the Borderlands. So that means that they are. Yeah, they've leveled up in the middle and at the end of In Search of the Unknown. And yes, I don't want to overinflate their numbers for that. Yeah, and it's going to be a classic one, and I've already sprinkled seeds in. So I don't know that you can get much from the seeds, but they're there. They're in the ground. And that's all I'll say on that. So we're going to open to some questions here. For the last, I'll stay on for another 15, 20 minutes. Oh, wait, no, I have a couple of other announcements. Jeez, oh my gosh, I got to look at my notes here. Okay, so things that are definitely coming back in 2025. Definitely going to be doing Shadowdark. There's a few things I want to do, and Kelsey actually announced on her Discord and social media and everything that they're doing another Kickstarter, I think in March, and it's going to be to expand with more material, new zines, things like that. And so they're doing a Kickstarter for that, and I will definitely be backing it, getting all the whatever comes from it, and trying to promote that in any way possible. I just love the Shadowdark, love the community. Definitely going to do something with that. Bill Harvett from the Crawl Club sent me a bunch of stuff. I've showcased that a few times. I don't have it on hand right now, but they sent me a bunch of things for the stuff that he's producing, and I would love to maybe try to run one of those adventures if I can. I really would love to, and of course, definitely want to play Call of Cthulhu in 2024. I know that for certain there is a sequel to Viral that's coming out. It's not published yet. It's in the works, which is fine because, like I said, my schedule's already busy. But maybe by summer of 2025, we could have the sequel to Viral, which would be so cool. And maybe some surprises with that one. And we'll see. But that's definitely going to be on my radar. And at the very least, I actually have other Call of Cthulhu things that I want to run. And so there might be a bigger announcement about Call of Cthulhu in June when we do like a midsummer or a middle of the year summer stream. So Call of Cthulhu certainly coming back. Shadowdark, new material probably sometime in the spring. That might be one of those cases where we record something. And then, well, should I announce that yet? Well, actually, maybe that's probably the best announcement. Maybe. No. You know what? That's not ready to be announced yet. Never mind. There's one announcement that I really wish I could say right now, but I won't. I'll leave it a little bit of a surprise. It'll be the one thing that's a surprise here. And but that's going to be coming out soon. Like that is going to be within the next month and a half. But before I mention anything, I want to just pin it down so that we can guarantee it's going to happen, and then it'll come out. I was trying to maybe see if I can coordinate it for this live stream so I could announce it, but it's one thing I think we just need to leave be for now. In another week or so, you'll probably hear me talk about it on streams, and there's going to be something special coming. No, I'm not drinking a beer. This is actually iced tea lemonade. Thank you for asking, though. I don't really enjoy drinking alcohol. I could count on one hand how many like alcoholic drinks I have in a year. I just don't really enjoy it. But I do love sugar. That is my vice. Sugar is my vice. All right, so I'll take some questions, get some questions in here in the chat, and I have some questions from Discord that I set up a thread for. There's only a couple here, but I'll go through them and answer. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I haven't spoken to most people since before, like the Christmas, time, Christmas season. We had a great Christmas. We hosted Christmas Eve, got lots of good stuff for the kids. Santa was good to them, and I ended up getting a cool mug. Actually, I should have had that mug right now. My wife got me a cool mug. It said basically that you're the dungeon master, so you spend hours planning, months, coordinating, and to have all your plans change in 1 minute. Basically the case. Okay, so questions from Discord here. Here they are. So we had David from Mini Moose said, do you already have one-shots campaigns planned for after the current ones? If so, do they include non-D&D games? I kind of teased that already. Obviously, Call of Cthulhu is coming back. We might be doing the viral sequel when that is ready. But I do have another one-shot for Call of Cthulhu that's going to happen, I think, no matter what. But that'll probably be a one-shot, like maybe 3 episodes, kind of like Mr. Corbett that we did many years ago. That would be cool. And then I definitely am going to do a one shot for Shadowdark, like I mentioned. That's going to happen no matter what. And I even want to incorporate some more Shadowdark later in the year. But a lot of my free time will happen in the summer when I have some of these longer campaigns take a little bit of a break. Maybe earlier, like if Curse of Strahd ends their season in May, then of course we'll be doing stuff from May on. But not many things, like one or two special projects. And then I do have this one other thing that I'll announce at another point. But after that, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to happen. I've got two big things that are in the back burner that might be announced by the summer, but they might start towards the end of 2025, like big announcements. But I'm hesitant to talk about them because after we got to wait till Vecna is done. Vecna being done is really like the thing that's taking a lot of my brain power right now. I do have a campaign that I'm developing actually myself. I'm going to be testing it out, running it on Monday nights at my gaming club. I've got a couple players that are playing in that. It's going to be fun just to test out the new 5e rules, the new 2024 rules. So we'll see. I'm not committing to doing 2024 rules or anything like that, although they really aren't that different. I'll be honest with you. They really aren't. They're really very, very similar. Like it's the same as 2014 rules. Just spells are a little different, and the class has all been just like kind of reorganized, retooled. Actually, for the better, I think. I mean, if you actually like 5e, and I know some people are split. I know one of the questions from James here, and we can get into that. My opinions on the state quality of Wizards of the Coast. I know that there's a lot of people, especially feeling my viewers, aren't big of a fans of Wizards of the Coast, especially in the last few years. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, I really do enjoy 2014, this 5th edition. I do. 5th edition's really cool. I mean, for all the flack it gets, I mean, you've seen it. I've had no problem killing characters in 5th edition. And I don't say that with like I kill characters. Like I'm a good DM. Like you don't have to be a good DM to killing characters doesn't make you a good DM. But the game can be as lethal as you want it to be, right? It's very moddable. It's very easy to put some house rules on it and make it just more challenging. Like very few house rules, even just our death timer from Keep on the Borderlands makes it way more intense. You can make it what you want. I think though that a lot of people think that because the characters are more powerful, it's hard for a D to DM it, and it's really not. It just takes practice, like anything else. The more you play in it, the more it is. And I think that this new edition, especially once we get the monster manual, we'll see exactly how deadly it really is. Because right now the characters seem a little bit more powerful, especially martial characters get a big boost at the beginning. But the monsters, if the monsters are even stronger, or like I know it's like saying 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If the players get stronger and the monsters get stronger, did it really get any deadlier? No, of course not. But it is definitely equivalent to 2014 in that way then. And I think 2014 rules were great, and 2025 just streamlines some things, improves in a couple of smaller areas, and just makes the game a little bit more fresh. It's not a big change. Like I don't think any of my games, if I were to switch them over, would be too terrible. In fact, I think they'd be fine. I think they'd all be fine. It's such a similar edition. It's really like a 5.5, if you ask me. And so, yeah, but I don't like some of the decisions that Wizards of the Coast have made. We've talked about this before. I think D&D, the tone of it all, and we're not going to get into like the social commentary and all that stuff, but I think that D&D is what you make of it. So when we play D&D, regardless of what edition, it's going to be a little bit more darker, serious. We certainly have quite a bit of fun. We laugh and we do not take ourselves too seriously, but we take the game seriously. And I think there's that whatever tone you bring to 5th edition, whatever 5th edition you get, it is what you make of it. So we're going to keep going with 2014 right now, obviously, but in the future, we'll see. So another question from the Discord, and this is from Cam. Cam always got lots of good questions and comments. This is really more of a request. Would love to see the tabletop regulars square off against each other in teams. Platform doesn't matter. Icewind Dale crew versus Char Coalition, girls versus guys. My money would be on the ladies. So I like this. I've talked about this idea of this like sort of like just PvP combat thing. It would be so much fun. It's kind of hard because like you have to get 10 people to basically be on stream at once. I think it's easier said than done, and maybe more fun than in thought than in practice. But I mean, maybe we can do something like that. Maybe like a pairs or duos. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'd be something. I mean, it'd be easy for me. I would barely have to do it. Although I do think that VNA Eve of Ruin is sort of the opportunity for that, where people can, in theory, kind of fight against each other a little bit. You know, kind of like how Avengers fight each other in some of the movies, but they obviously come together in the end. We'll see. Let's go to the YouTube chat, see if there's any questions there. I got to James's question. Let's see. Where are we here? Where was that question? Time to play more independent content in 2025, says James from Casey. Yeah, I mean, we've always been a supporter of independent content here, even with 5e. I mean, I started running Arcane Library adventures from the beginning with Supernatural 20. I mean, I've ran tons of different third-party content creators and showcased them here on the channel. It's one of my favorite things to do because, you know, my background playing D&D and Warhammer and all these things, there was no like scene when I started playing 20 plus years ago. There was only independent scenes. So, you know, it's like, especially Warhammer, like GW hasn't been a part of Warhammer competitive play, you know, for most of the time that I've played Warhammer. It's only in the recent couple of editions that they've been involved in the game again. So, yeah. And I think a lot of people are, you know, people don't like Wizards of the Coast. Man, if you don't like Wizards of the Coast, you would not like Games Workshop. That's for sure. Talk about like money grabs and like decisions that baffle you and writing rules poorly. I mean, Games Workshop, in my opinion, is way worse than Wizards of the Coast in those regards. Let's see here. Queen of the Demon Web Pits. There's a request. Oh, no, there's a question. Chris Amon says, Star Coalition aside, have you thought about new classic campaigns such as Spider Queen? Wayne, help me out with the name. Oh, Demon Web Pits. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I've told you, I've already kind of got it picked what we're doing, but I think that the Keep on the Borderlands game has been like a saga. And actually, I'm thinking about renaming the playlist to be the like the Keep on the Borderlands saga or something like that, like Legends of the Keep or something like that, where it's because right now Insurgent Unknown definitely was like a right direct connection to it. But if we do another adventure, it's going to be very different. And like, I feel like I can't call it Keep on the Borderlands, right? Like, for example, we are not doing Castle Amber. I've said that before on the channel. But let's say we were doing Castle Amber as the example. Hypothetically, I would not call it Keep on the Borderlands Castle Amber. I did that for In Search of the Unknown because it was such a small, short thing, and it was like a continuation of the storyline. So it's like it felt like an addendum, something to be added on. But I would have to name it something different. I would probably just call it simply Castle Amber, right? And then we would play the game with those older characters. But I want to keep it in the same playlist. I actually retooled all the playlists. Yes, Chris, I love telling you we're not doing Castle Amber. Never say never, but not right now. Not right now. But like I did retool the playlist. I actually realized that a lot of my playlists were out of order in some way. Like some of the playlists were going backwards, and that might have been just like a setting that I didn't realize I had to change. I feel like some of them never did that, others did. So I made sure all the playlists go from oldest to newest, so that way you can watch them in order instead of going in backwards order. I also added a cover image for them. Like I didn't realize that Curse of Strahd and some of the other longer ones count as podcasts. And when they do that, they have them as a square thing. So it like cuts off some of the image. Maybe you're not seeing this on your end. Go to the playlist section at some point and check it out. Make sure you can see it all. But I changed them all to just reorganize them a little bit. And I'm giving names to them, updating descriptions. And one of the things I realized is that the Keep in the Borderlands has its own playlist, which added in the In Search of the Unknown. But it also has like the After the Final Roll in it and like the character creations and stuff. So it has every video about it in that playlist. And then if I were to do another adventure, those would also be added to it. But I think I need another playlist. So I have a playlist for just In Search of the Unknown. And the next one will have its own. Does that make sense? Yeah, I feel like it's in my mind, I've got to find out. I want to think of what would it be easiest for somebody who's just finding it. Let's say somebody just wants to watch, hypothetically Castle Amber. Well, I don't want them being like, wait, it's in the Keep on the Borderlands playlist. And then on top of it too, like, I just want them to watch Castle Amber, or if they want to just watch Castle Amber, I want them to easily find it. So I'm going to make a separate one and then rename the Keep on the Borderlands one like the Saga, Keep on the Borderlands Saga. And like, that's what I'm thinking. Either way, your thoughts, I appreciate it. Comment down below too if you have suggestions for how I should organize these things in the future. I'm also this is actually not an announcement necessarily, but I'm looking into perhaps just putting the audio up on like some sort of a podcast platform. I don't really know how to do that. I haven't looked into that ever, but it's something I'm thinking of. I've been looking to do that for some time, and I think I'm just gonna do that. I might do that this year at some point. I start with Curse of Strahd, the current campaign. I don't want to put like VNA Eve of Ruin on there because it's a lot and it's hard to, people aren't going to probably watch that, but somebody would probably watch or listen to a Curse of Strahd podcast because it starts fresh and it's its own thing. But I would be open to doing something like that in the future. Okay, let's see. A couple other questions here and then we'll call it here. Let's see. I think there are a lot of classic D&D campaigns you have to choose from. Absolutely. So many. It's like a million. Will there be a Greyhawk campaign in the future? I do like Greyhawk. I mentioned this before. I played in Greyhawk, living Greyhawk back in the day. I love Greyhawk. The thing I'm doing on Monday nights it's not going to be streamed, unfortunately, just testing out the new rules. That is going to be in Greyhawk. So, and I'm very excited. We're going to be in the gnarly woods. So if you know about it, you know about it. But maybe at some point I'd run that adventure on the channel. I don't know. It's just a test. Let's see here. Dasha's character is by far the most deadly character in VNA Eve of Ruin, I'm assuming. Eroviel's great. But I think you're going to see some deadly characters coming up. And by the way, CJ's character, Runar, was, 20th level. So right there, that tells you a lot. Let's see. Cam W. Doesn't have to be D&D, Bob. Would enjoying seeing a contest amongst your regulars in most any format. Oh, okay. So you're thinking like just pairing up people, like having CJ, Joey, Stefano, Andrew, people who played in Icewind Dale up against other players, maybe even first level characters or 20th level, something, different game. Maybe just wrestling in my backyard. Maybe that's what you mean. Let's see here. Chris from Long Island, you're reading a book on the video game industry. Money grabs are everywhere. Yeah, unfortunately. Let's see here. Let's see. Joy says, oh, Joy. Welcome, Joy. Good to have you here always. I appreciate the way you organize the playlist. Good. I hope that they're easy to navigate through. I hate it when I'm listening to a live play and there's no easy way to like toggle from next episode to next episode. Because, YouTube isn't probably the best podcast channel, right? It's not for that. It's for videos. Now, of course, if we do show a video and we have maps and things like that, but when I listen to a live play D&D game or something like that, I listen to it while it's on in the background, headphones or whatever, if I'm doing yard work or something. And then when something happens and I want to look at it, they're like, take a look at this picture, or let's go to the map. Then I might look at it and get my bearings and orient myself. But I don't always look at the video for the entire video. And I think most people watch it that way. So, you know, I hope that we can organize the playlist in a way that people can easily go from next to next episode to the next, follow along, keep their place, you know, because YouTube does do a good job of showing you what you've watched already. You can see the little line, the bar of how much you viewed it. So I do think that there's some good to that. But yeah, I want to make sure it's as easy to follow as possible. James from KC, audio only is interesting idea. I have some folks who do the same and may be able to give you some insight. Please do send me people's names. I would love to talk to somebody who knows about it. Everything Everywhere podcast. Okay, we'll check it out. Greyhawk Exile says, Greyhawk shout, Greyhawk Exile, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. As always, you're a cornerstone of this channel. Let's see here. What else we got? And Greyhawk, Greyhawk, we gotta do something, Greyhawk, right? At Greyhawk Exile, we've got to do it. Got to do it. Jay Tyler, Bob, love the personality of Viral with the players. You always give us your best. Thank you. Appreciate that. Really do. Viral was something I had in mind for a while. I absolutely loved the idea of it when I first saw it. I saw I think a Seth Skorkowski review of it, and I said I have to do it. And I waited on that one for like a year before I had the time and like could do it. It was a passion project for sure. Greyhawk Exile, thank you for the super chat. My goodness, $10. Thank you for a great 2024. Looking forward to 2025 content. The thing that you can always guarantee for me is that I am going to always do something that I love. I won't throw something on the channel that I am not 100% all in for. That I guarantee you. You know, everything that I've ever done here, I've been like, it consumes me, right? Like I'm like, I've got to run that. If I get that feeling where I look at something, I'm like, I have to run that. It's coming at some point. My only evil that stops me is time. The only adversary I've got is time. Let's see here. All right, let's wrap this up here. Chris from Long Island says, any chance Fritz can come back in the next Char Coalition? You know, I would love that. I would love that. I gotta chat with Fritz, see if we can get him on something. And then Wayne, what'd you say here, Wayne? Wayne says, found out that the Queen of the Spiders Adventure is a module compilation. Oh yeah. There's a lot of those module compilations for sure. Back in the day, that was a big thing they like to do. And then let's see at the end here. Wayne says, so I can save my money because I have the original. Yeah. And Greyhawk Exile, love the dedication, hardest working channel on YouTube. Thank you, Greyhawk Exile. Appreciate that as always. Thank you for everybody for a great 2024. I mean, this channel is really not the same without all of you. Thank you for being here in this live chat and sticking around and hearing what I have for the future. I wish I could give you more concrete answers other than some Shadowdark, some Call of Cthulhu, and an unknown small project to be named later. But, you know, like I said, the next 5 months for sure are going to be Strahd and Vecna, without a doubt. Okay. But I'll try to sprinkle as many little things as I can in there. Like I said, maybe recording will be our best, recording at an odd time and then releasing it. That would probably be the way we do things. And I hope that we can keep providing some fun content for all of you to watch. Thank you as always. And don't forget, like this video. These live streams usually don't get as much love as they should. Give me a like, comment down below. Share the channel with people. If you know people who play D&D who would love a live play channel, share with them. Do all the good stuff for YouTube. All right. All righty. John Simmons, thank you. Appreciate it. Keep up the wonderful work. Thank you. Everyone, we will be live very, very soon on Tuesday with Curse of Strahd. And until then, I'll see you all on the tabletop. Have a great night. Happy New Year.